All right. Hi, I'm Chris. This is Jay. We're the Grumpy Dungeon Masters. All right, now
Hey, that was
straight to
actually
the point.
that was a really good intro for you.
Straight to the point. Straight to the point.
Can we take a left at Albuquerque first?
No, no one knows the Buns Bunny jokes anymore
Oh, fucking kids these days. Ah,
in these days.
yeah, well, you know what's funny is nobody knows where Albuquerque's at either. I know it's in
Yeah,
New Mexico, but I don't. That's all I know. Nobody knows where New Mexico's at. Somewhere near the southern border.
near Old Mexico.
And for any of our listeners in New Mexico, sorry, all one
so,
of you.
so my group, and this was for me, not last session, but the session before last, of in the Rime of the Frostmaiden stream, encountered a room that had
We couldn't talk about it.
essentially,
Ice. We can't talk about Icewind
hold
Dale
on,
stuff yet.
had essentially a trap laid out for them, and I had to stop the fight middle of my wife's turn because the situation was so dire that they were going to wipe. And I picked it back up. I posted like, "Hey, come watch Rime of the Frostmaiden. This may be the very last session they play because there was only three of them.
Yep.
One of them's too big to go into the building, so he couldn't go in at all. And he wasn't going to make the following session, but the person that wasn't in the current session was going to be there. So what I had to do was let my wife know that the situation is not as dire as she thought it was, that she could pull through in the end. She still had a move and a bonus action to kind of figure things out. And that I was going to, and what I had to do was I had to bring the player that missed, the ranger, in at the same initiative as her. So he went exactly right after she did.
Okay.
And if I hadn't have done that, the party would have wiped to the
Trap.
encounter
The
of
the
the
trap.
eight, yeah, the trap, which is eight creatures of classic D&D lore. And if you know anything about Chapter 7, you know what I'm talking about. And I felt like I had a heavy hand in it a little bit, but at the same time, it's like I didn't want that to be the end of the campaign. There's so much of work and set up for them to just die unceremoniously to a bunch of
So it's
crap monsters.
it is a little heavy-handed, but that being said, you were also in an interesting scenario where you were missing a player who would,
Hmm.
like these characters, they don't just disappear. Typically when I have somebody who's not there, I let somebody else run them.
Yeah, I
We've talked about
don't
that
like
on
doing
previous.
it.
Yeah, we I don't like doing it, but it's better than just not having them around at all. Now I am not always that way. Sometimes I will just have them not be there. It just depends on the game. When I ran Icewind Dale, everybody who was there, so I was going to let somebody else run their character. My own homebrew campaigns, sometimes I don't. Just depends.
Yeah. No, I give permission people permission to run a few of my characters when I'm not there if I miss.
Yeah.
Like I play my Thaladred PC in D&D, and that one's real simple. If it's alive, I hit it. If it's undead, I hit it harder, and I don't give a shit otherwise.
Yeah.
So play that character, put him in the front line. So that's easy. There's not gonna be any issues. But there have been times where like I I know a player who had a DM play. He played the PC and was doing things that the PC would never do. So that's why I don't like that at all. But
Yeah, I only suggest doing that if you absolutely trust the players.
yeah,
Uh, like, I have some players that I probably wouldn't let them run other people's characters, but I have some players that I do trust well enough to
yeah.
run other people's characters,
But all the encounters are built for 4 players. I run 5 normally, so being down one's not like a huge strategic loss. You know.
unless the trap works.
Well, if I will say that if the player that he could have shrunk down and gone inside, he just didn't want to.
Mhm.
If he would have been inside, it would have been just nothing.
Yeah,
Would have
he's,
mopped up the entire encounter.
I mean, they split the party. Broke rule number one.
Yeah, at the end of the day, yeah. But we made it through. Um, they have all the gym badges that they need to go down Victory Road, as they're so jokingly say that they're
Yep.
doing.
So they're
I
almost to
think
the end. Almost.
next session is going to be the end.
Are you ready to run your next thing after that?
No, we are going to play Candlekeep.
That's right. You
Um,
told me
yeah,
that a couple times, but I'm never going to remember it.
I am playing a well. So far, I know some of the characters that we have, and it's very interesting because it's a one shot. Everyone's just kind of going crazy. That was the
Yeah.
That's what everyone said they're going to do. We have a halfling gunslinger named Arizona Jack Swilling, who's a bounty hunter.
Fucking awesome.
Um, my wife is playing a Tabaxi bard, and she rolled essentially like 4 17s and 2 14s for or 3 14s and 3 17s for her stats.
Oh, wait, you
Uh,
actually are rolling stats for once?
yeah.
Wow.
Um, so
Look at you.
she's going down college glamour, and essentially she's just gonna charm the shit out of everybody with her little Tabaxi tail. Yeah.
Gotta hate
Uh,
Tabaxis so much.
uh, the other the other guy, Dimitri, he's playing a um, I don't remember the race that he's playing, but he's playing a sorcerer, um, something or other that's just controlling.
Yeah.
And um, we got a new player that's coming in. He's in our stream a lot, Scruffy Fish or whatever his name is. He'll be playing with us
All right.
to be five, and he's going to go melee. I originally had built out a samurai rabbit folk, just called him Yojimbo, and I was just going to run that. But I decided to take a step back, and I am instead playing. Oh, I lost the link to it. What's the fish person race? I keep forgetting.
Oh, the Tritons?
No,
The not
not
Murlocs. That's
not the Kuatoa because they're
oh, okay, not
the
Quota.
the
Tritons.
Locatha.
I don't
They're
actually
they're,
know.
they're basically Kuatoa.
Okay.
Locatha. They're just giant fish people. I am playing a gravity wizard fish person.
Oh, I have, mind you, you're doing the first one, right? So you'll be at first level.
No, we're doing
Oh,
level 16.
oh, okay. No, gravity wizards at that high of level are amazing.
So uh, I need some help putting this guy together. Uh,
Well, I can tell
but
you
anyway,
I can tell you what spells you want, but that
sure. Let's go through the spells and reasons why we should pick those spells.
okay. Give me a
Well, you
second.
said you needed content, so here we go.
Oh, I'm perfectly willing to help you pick spells. I just need access to that book. So hold on.
Now, my first thought was I only get one. I'm doing 14 wizard, 2 fighter for obvious reasons. Max and
Well, I
Surge.
oh no, 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 don't do that. Don't
Why
do that.
not?
No, please. Just run wizard, man. You want that next level of spell.
You want the 8th level spell, really?
Fuck yeah.
What's so good in 8th level?
I'm trying to find it. If you're running a wizard,
Uh-huh.
if you're not there's the fighter class that gets the wizard. What are they called?
No, I don't. I took the 2 dip into fighter just because action surge and second wind shields because I knew I was gonna go. I can go warcaster and I can wear medium armor.
Yeah.
And my AC is 19 in this current build, so I mean I don't mind. They essentially have like the same turtles thing too, where they have like increased armor. So I'm all for changing it up some. But
I'm
what's so
sorry.
special at level 8?
So yeah, let's take a look at it. First off, let's kind of look at the gravity wizard.
Okay.
So at second level, you get the graviturgy magic feature as an action. You can magically alter the weight of one object or creature you can see within 30 feet of you. Must be large or smaller. The target's weight is halved or doubled for up to 1 minute or until your concentration ends. While the weight of a creature is halved by this effect, their speed increases by 10 feet, can jump twice as far as normal, and it has disadvantage on strength checks and strength saves. While the weight is doubled, speed is reduced by 10 feet, has advantage on strength checks and saves. And when you hit 10th level, you could target up to a huge creature. So that alone is pretty good. You know, the fact you can allow your group to move or somebody to move 10 extra feet and jump twice as far.
Yeah.
Gravity well at 6th level, you learned how to manipulate gravity around a living being. Whenever you cast a spell on a creature, you can move the target 5 feet to an unoccupied space of your choice if they are willing to move. The spell hits it with an attack, or if it fails a saving throw against a spell. Eh, that's all right. I never
I get
really
to
found.
push somebody 5 feet if I want to.
Yeah, it could be useful if, yeah, say you're going before somebody and that person wants to get out of melee range, or hell, even yourself. You hit the target right next to you with a spell, move them 5 feet, and then you can move without their opportunity attack.
Right.
Violent attraction at 10th level. Whenever another creature that you can see within 60 feet of you hits with a weapon attack, you can use your reaction to increase the attack's velocity, dealing an extra 1d10 damage of the weapon's type.
I like that
Alternatively,
one.
yeah, that one's cool. Alternatively, if a creature within 60 feet of you takes damage from a fall, you can use your reaction to increase the damage. I love that. It's never
Yeah.
going to get used, but just the flavor of it. And then at 14th level is Event Horizon. So you had talked about doing a 14 Wizard 2 fighter, so you'd still have access to this.
Yeah.
As an action, you can magically emit a powerful field of gravitational energy that tugs at other creatures for up to a minute or until your concentration ends. For the duration, whenever a creature hostile to you starts its turn within 30 feet of you, it must make a strength saving throw against your spell save DC. On a failed save, it takes 2d10 force damage and its speed is reduced to 0 until the start of its next turn. On a save, it takes half as much damage, and every foot it moves, it costs 2 extra feet of movement. So that's amazing.
Yeah.
Uh,
Definitely. That's why I was going at least to 14.
yeah, no, that's just amazing. You start their turn, they fail the save, and they're taking force and speed of 0. They make the save, they're taking force, and they're effectively their movement is a third because it costs 2 extra feet of movement.
It's just double movement cost.
2 extra feet of movement. So
Oh. Oh yeah,
yeah,
triple movement cost.
yeah. So if they can move 30, they can move 10. All right,
All
let's.
right.
There's a bunch
So
of different. Yeah,
so
go
yeah,
ahead.
when I was looking at the spells, I guess these weren't showing up because whatever reason. So I didn't actually look at all these. So the issue is I can go 14 wizard and 2 fighter, or go straight to 16 wizard. And the difference is that I think, um, I get an
Actually,
extra. I get at 15. I get a level 8 spell.
yeah, you absolutely. Well, I personally would want access to that 8th level spell. So
So
just take.
what's the 8th level spell that you want that I should have? Dark
Uh,
Star.
let's read Darkstar first, and then I'll actually look in the PHB and see what other 8th level spells you have access to. But if you're going to
Right.
play a Gravity Wizard, man, Darkstar is where it's at.
Okay. So Dark Star.
All right, one action, range is 150 feet, concentration up to a minute. This spell creates a sphere centered on a point you choose within range. The sphere can have a radius of up to 40 feet, so 80 feet. That's a very large area. The area in this sphere is filled with magical darkness and crushing gravitational force. For the duration, the spell's area is difficult terrain. A creature with dark vision can't see through the magical darkness, and non magical light can't illuminate it. No sound can be created within or pass through the area, so it shuts off all other spellcasters in that area. Any creature or object entirely inside the sphere is immune to thunder damage, and creatures are deafened while entirely inside it. Casting a spell that includes a verbal component is impossible there. Any creature that enters the spell's area for the first time on a turn or starts its turn there must make a con saving throw or take 8d10 force damage on a failed save or half as much damage on a successful one. Creature reduced to 0 is disintegrated. An important point, a disintegrated creature and everything it is wearing and carrying except magic items are reduced to a pile of fine gray dust. So other than it shuts down any magic casters who are in that area, and it makes difficult terrain. So everything is already it's taken twice as much movement to get out. You're talking a 40-foot area. If you're able to center this correctly, just whoever's in the very damn middle of this thing,
Yeah.
if they have 30 feet of movement and it's a 40 foot to get out, that's half. That's 50. That's 3 rounds of them just sucking up 8d10 force damage.
So I have to ask, if I did go with the actions, the two fighter, that ability, the 14th ability, that's not a spell, right?
Oh,
Event
no, it is
Horizon.
not. Yeah, you could do that and then hit them with Dark Star.
No, I have to be 20 for that, but yeah. Um, okay. See, my thought was I saw Gravity Well, but that's in
Mhm.
the normal spells. I didn't actually see these spells yet, so I have to kind of look
Okay.
at them.
Oh, okay. So you haven't seen the or I think they're the Dunamancy spells.
Yeah.
Yeah. First level is Gift of Alacrity, which in my opinion is just fucking broke.
Well, that's the time people.
Yeah, but it's the same. You could easily pull it. You don't have to just pull gravity
Right.
spells. But I've talked about it before, but duration is 8 hours, casting time a minute. Touch a willing creature for the duration. They add a D8, a 1d8 to their initiative rolls for
That's
fucking eight
broken.
hours. Yeah, you just give it to somebody and they're going first. It's a first level spell too, so you could give most of your party that.
Oh yeah.
What?
Magnify gravity. Ooh.
Yep. Just taking a quick look at eighth level spells in the PHB. You have access to Feeble Mind. You have access to Dominate Monster, Anti Magic Field, Maze, Mind Blank if you don't want to be hit by any mind magic.
Right. But I just there are a lot of cool stuff in there, but it didn't feel like it was worth it over uh getting action surge and
What does Action Surge get you as a wizard?
another action.
It doesn't get you another spell. You can't cast two
Right.
spells in a round.
I mean, yeah, but
It gets you an extra movement, basically. That's all it does.
fair enough. But I did go Warcaster. My AC was 19, but that wasn't a real big issue.
Yeah. I mean, that's pretty good AC.
Yeah. Um.
Play a Hobgoblin, then you could wear light armor.
well, the fish people get like they already get +2 to their armor for natural
Oh,
armor,
okay. Okay. Well, that,
and
that
then they add Dex on top of that. So
and then you,
with
and that, well, I guess, yeah,
with
mage
that with
armor.
mage armor would be even better.
Yeah, because mage armor's 14 AC. Then if you have a high dex, then you get the +2. Yeah. 19
Yeah.
AC is doing it. When I played the Gravity Wizard, I played a Hobgoblin. I picked up, because you can start with light armor, and there's a feat that lets you take up to medium. And we
Yeah.
started with a couple of magic items. So I was running around with a 22 armor class as a wizard.
Yeah, we have two uncommon magic items, and then we have 5,000 gold plus 1d10 times 250, and then we can just buy magic items at full cost. So I haven't even began to deck out the magic item side of things.
Yeah.
Um, so my big thing was gravity well, where basically you create that 50-foot diameter, 100-foot tall cylinder of gravity, and you just send everything upwards. They fall 100 feet straight into the air. Now, if you're in a cavern that's like has like a 50-foot ceiling, and you do that, they just smash into the ceiling, right?
Yeah.
So I just
If you're just flipping gravity, yeah, that's what's going to happen. They're going to hit the roof.
yeah, so I accelerate them, and they all go smashing into the ceiling real hard,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
I turn it off, and they go smashing back down to the ground real hard.
That's exactly how that works.
All right, cool.
And I know you won't have access to ninth level spells, but Ravenous Void is just ridiculously powerful. Range 1,000. The casting time is an action, but the range is 1,000 feet. It covers up to 100 feet, so it's a really large area. Just it's so good and very difficult to deal with. I'm not even going to
Well,
read the damn thing. It's just it's ridiculous.
yeah, I just wonder if I'm gonna ever be in a place to use Dark Star because it's just so damn big.
Well, here's the thing about Darkstar. that one you actually get to control the size. Uh,
Okay, up to. Okay.
yes. The ravenous one you don't. It's just fucking. It's 100-foot area. It's massive.
Hmm.
But I was able to use it that one time, and it worked okay. But we were playing against something that could handle it. Things that try to handle that spell using their strength, it's nearly impossible. But things that could teleport, they can get out of it. Now, if you could somehow have that and Darkstar, they're just fucked. You get two gravity wizards. There you go.
The other spell looks like Gravity Sinkhole, 20-foot sphere, at a point you can see. Constitution save. Takes 5d10 force damage and is pulled in a straight line toward the center of the sphere.
Yep.
It's not bad.
Yeah, that's pretty close to what Ravenous Void does, just to a much lesser degree.
Neat.
So
All right.
you're playing a wizard, man. I I approve.
Well, like I said, the first choice was playing Yojimbo.
Yeah.
I mean, who doesn't want to play a rabbit samurai?
I don't even like Rabbitkin as a playable race, but if I was going to, I'm playing Yojimbo.
Everybody is.
It's not even an option, man. That's all you can play.
uh,
Either that or I'd play a bard. He'd be a hip hop star.
a hip hop rabbit.
Yep, I got jokes for days.
So yeah, that's we're doing that. We may actually have to do two, because, like I said, the party's rolled so high with stats, and we're just going crazy. And unfortunately, I do know the boss of that one that he picked, and we're just gonna destroy it. Not gonna have a chance.
Well, if he listens to our podcast, he'll know to change stats or
By
change
the
the
time this
encounter
time,
itself.
yeah. Well, I mean, I just know what it is. I don't know what it does.
Yeah.
Because they talk. That's all I'm talking about. It's a really cool spin on a very classic monster, and it's very entertaining. My other thought too is to make a similar simulacrum of myself too.
Oh, I love
You know,
doing that.
yeah, and then
Yeah,
having two of me with two of my spell things, and just kind of holding him off until you know
yeah.
shit gets wild, essentially,
I
and
mean,
then just going
your
crazy.
simulacrum is going to be super weak by comparison, but what you can do is you can give it magic items.
Yeah.
So my simulacrum, I gave it a what was it? A staff of fire. So it was able to throw fireballs. It was able to drop walls of fire, shit like that. Yeah, it wasn't nearly as powerful as I am, but hey, you know.
But it
Uh,
still has all my spells.
yeah, it's half your level. So if you're 16th
Okay.
level, it's going to be 8th level.
Okay. I thought it matched everything.
Mm. No. Oh god, that'd be the best fucking spell ever if it did that.
Right.
After a while, you start wondering which one of you is the real one.
Yeah, and it's just like the twins, whatever their name was in
Omax and Zaymod?
no, in Invincible. The
Yeah, no, yeah.
Yeah,
I've been watching it. I haven't finished it yet. But yeah,
real good. It's real good.
it's not bad. I've enjoyed it, but it is not. It didn't hold my interest like I was hoping it would. But it'll
It
hold it
gets
enough.
real good.
I'm halfway through the season. I'm still
It
waiting.
gets. What do you mean still waiting?
I'm still waiting for it to get real good.
It gets real good.
Okay. Well, I'll be finishing it.
It's like episode 1 turned up to 11 for like the last 3 episodes.
Can't talk spoilers yet because I haven't finished it. But
Um,
all of my friends keep telling me, finish it, finish it. I was supposed to have finished it 2 weeks ago.
uh,
Anyway, back on
so
to D&D.
so yeah, I think I'm definitely doing this. So I'm gonna pick up haste. I'm gonna pick up slow,
Um, Haste is it's okay.
fly,
Yeah, fly's good, obviously.
greater invisibility.
Yep, big fan.
I'm definitely gonna greater invisibility the gunslinger. Okay. Have you seen that what the gunslinger is?
I have. I've definitely read it. Well,
Alright.
I watched pretty much the first season of Critical Role where they had a gunslinger.
So the gunslinger, when you pick up the feats for like gunner and firearm specialists, your chance to misfire with the guns goes down to zero, essentially. And you don't have to reload guns anymore. You just ignore that property. Okay.
Yep.
So as long as you have the ammo, you're just burning through it. So I already built it out because it's one thing I wanted to play until one of the other players decided to play his. And you get your 3 attacks around, and then you also can do a bonus action light pistol attack if you want to as well too. If you choose the revolver, it's 2d8 plus dexterity damage for a revolver. That's the 3 attacks.
Okay.
And then the palm pistol is 1d10. So that's pretty good
That's good
for
damage.
a round of attacks. Now you're also invisible.
Ah,
So you
so
have
any
advantage in all those attacks.
Yep, and anything trying to kill you has disadvantage.
Right. And on top of that, the gunslinger actually has all the maneuvers that the battle master has.
Oh, so yeah, and triggering those with ranged attacks, it can be nasty.
Very. And then, haste them as well. You know,
Yep.
I'll just do it again.
I'll just take
Uh,
another action. Yeah, like that's disgusting.
it is.
Can you hasten greater invisibility? I think greater invisibility is concentration. I'm
Well,
unsure
it's
about
a fourth
haste.
level spell, so the simulacrum's going to do one.
Ah, there you go. Now you're thinking.
Uh,
Yeah,
Now I'm
haste
thinking
is
with
also
portals.
now you're thinking with Portal. See, here I am saying you don't know magic, and you're thinking outside the box, beating me to the punch. See, I had a simulacrum, but it just stayed at home and ran my bar. That's all it ever did. Nobody ever wanted to fuck with the bar because there's a high level wizard, moderately high level wizard behind the bar.
Yeah, I'm just going to bring mine with me and just have him like stay in the back, like in the
Oh yeah,
previous room,
yep.
and do all the buffing, I guess.
Yeah, is there a cost associated with simulacrum because you'll have to pay that upon casting?
Ye- Yeah, I'm gonna talk to the DM to see if I could have that already pre-done. You know,
Yep.
before the adventure starts, just to kind of limit the cost. But even if we don't, even
Yeah,
if I have to spend
that's
it,
1,500 gold pieces.
we
That's
start
nothing to
off with
sneeze
at
at.
least 6,000.
Yeah,
So
I'm sure you can do it. Just be aware.
yeah,
But if your simulacrum dies, man, then that's money out the window.
like I said, he'll hang out in the back. He'll be fine.
He'll cast greater invisibility on himself.
Boop, gone. Yeah, so I'm really kind of excited because I don't know. I played a sorcerer before, but I always tended to just go straight melee and just beat the crap out of stuff. So I'm kind of excited for this.
You should be
And
excited because you never get to play.
yeah, I still have probably gonna have to set up the stream and run the stream though. So
Yeah, but that's easy enough. That pales in comparison to actually
just DMing and running the
having
stream.
to run. Yeah, doing both things at the same time.
But yeah, this is gonna be very interesting. And Candlekeep is supposed to be really good. All the adventures are really good. And I have chapter one done for the Owl campaign from an
Hmm.
encounter standpoint. Um, I
Yeah,
need to flesh out
we were talking
all
about
the
it a little bit the other day.
yeah. I got to flesh out all the characters, the NPCs, and the town itself. I do know what the name of the town is though.
Oh,
That's Glide Sky Roost.
Allied Sky Roost. Okay,
Yeah,
that's not bad.
after like after named after the town's founder, which is like something Glide Sky.
Okay.
Yeah,
No, that's a
I
solid name for an owl town.
yeah. It's interesting though because while I was doing the encounters, I realized that if they're in a dungeon or something, flying's not going to matter. But if they're walking through the forest, flying is just going to negate so many encounters.
Oh
You
yeah,
know,
yeah, I know
so
all about it.
gonna
So
have to really up the game on the encounter design to take out owls.
So when we were playing the Maw campaign, I was playing a wizard. I ended up with a ring of telekinesis. And ring of telekinesis, you can just always do telekinesis. So I was constantly just able to lift the entire party. What I would do is I would take I actually bought a giant rug that was large enough for everybody to sit on, and I would just levitate the rug. So
Yeah.
we were just effectively off the ground all the time, and were able to avoid 99% of the encounters, which made
Well,
travel there so much easier.
that's how you beat a Tarrasque.
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
well, yeah,
you
but
get
I am not an Aarakocra. Just saying.
yeah. That's the way you beat a Tarrasque is you just get a bunch of flying brooms and a bunch of magic bows that have infinite ammo, and just float away at like 120 feet, and just poke it until it dies.
Am I pretties? Yeah, I always thought it was stupid. It wasn't immune to non-magic damage. It really should be.
Well, yeah. Well, no, you need magic bows, but like the ones that
Okay.
have infinite ammo,
Yeah.
because you're going to need to shoot with something like around 300 successful attacks for each person in the party of five to take it down.
How about you just have a bunch of druids summon a whole bunch of birds and just attack it to death?
How many tiny daggers via animate artifact do you need to take down a Tarrasque?
Oh, we're gonna do the math on this one, I'm sure.
I'm
So,
not.
no, I'm
If
not
someone
either.
listening wants to, you can feel free and let me know.
I can say for an absolute certainty that we had a druid in our party a while back who was able to summon up to 16 birds. Each one was it was only a +4 to hit, but it dealt like 2d6 damage. So yeah, you do the math on that one.
Who
Get
would
like
win?
20, just get like 20 druids, all the birds, victory. Fuck the
One
Terrask.
one Tarrasque versus 1 million blackbirds. Who wins?
Blackbirds, apparently.
Just pecking him to death.
Yeah.
He dies from being annoyed.
I mean, look, if you get attacked by a million sturges, you're just fucked. Terrask or not, they're gonna feast on
It
you.
shouldn't even be able to pierce its skin.
Eh, well, I don't make the rules. Somebody else wrote this shit. All right, let's move on. We'll talk.
No, let's talk about
Oh,
Tarrasque and birds.
you want to just keep going on Terrask and birds? I mean,
No.
we can do this. And animated objects, that sounds fun too. Just animate a bunch of knives. Next thing you know, you got all those little fuckers from Beauty and the Beast killing a Tarrasque.
It's one of my
Candles,
favorite spells.
candlesticks kicking his ass.
10. Yeah, you can animate 10 flying daggers. I can actually look it up here real quick.
I'd use spoons.
No, you want to do
They do bludgeoning damage. It's fine.
so. Yeah, so you can animate 10 tiny objects with animate objects. Okay. Um, and each one of them has 20 hit points and 18 AC, 4 dex, and 18 dexterity. They
Lord.
have a +8 to hit and do 1d4 +4 damage.
See, that's crap damage though, by comparison to the druid one.
Maybe.
I mean, a D4. I mean, it's a much higher chance to hit,
Hmm.
so it might balance itself out. I don't know. See now, oh, geez, now you got me looking. What is it's a summon spell?
But you just walk around with like ten daggers floating around your head, and then they all zip at one target, and they come right back, and you just zip them at another target, and they all come right back, and you just zip them at another target.
Yeah, no,
A standard bandit is not going to survive 10 attacks from 10 tiny daggers.
oh no,
You know,
no, definitely not. Yeah, no,
yeah,
against most things, that's fantastic.
it's 10d4 plus 40 damage if all of them hits. it's it's a level 5 spell. I mean,
Uh,
you can make him even tinier too. You can just have like 10 tiny pebbles.
yeah, the conjure spells in in 5e were just ridiculously busted.
And well, yeah, and it's a bonus action to command him too, so you can still do your normal stuff.
Yeah, conjure animals. It's a third level spell, and you can summon 8 beasts of challenge rating 1/4 or lower.
Okay.
I don't remember exactly how it was possible. But I know it was possible to double the amount, so you could have 16 beasts of challenge rating 1/4 or lower. And we had found it was one of the birds. I don't recall exactly what type. It was a challenge rating of a quarter or lower, and I think it dealt 2d6 damage on top of the. It was +4 to hit, so it's going to miss often, but you'll roll enough 20s, and that 2d6 adds up.
I mean, there's a lot of animals at the 1/4 range.
Oh yeah, there's tons of them.
Well, like 30.
Uh,
You can summon swarm of bats, swarm of rats, swarm of ravens.
Swarm of dragonflies, swarm of bees.
It was a swarm of ravens because it's 2d6. I don't know if you shouldn't be able to summon a swarm of something and have it count as one though.
The rules
Because
are
it's spell.
wonky.
Yeah, I mean he let it happen. I don't think I'd let that happen because if you summon a creature, not a swarm
You can swarm.
of creatures.
You can summon up to 8 of them.
Right, that would be one swarm of ravens.
Well, I think I believe that's a murder of ravens.
The murder of ravens.
Yeah, it's a murder of ravens. That's what 8 of them are. It's gonna
You
murder
can
the fuck out of a Tarrasque.
you can you can summon 10 horses, 10 panthers.
Mind, I think we allowed it to be owls. Yeah, it dealt the exact same damage, but we were using it as owls instead.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd let that summon a swarm. I don't know. What was it? Is it summon animal? What was it again?
Conjure woodland beings.
Conjure-
It wouldn't be a
Question mark?
swarm.
Well,
Like
that's the creature you're
you're
talking about.
no,
Yeah.
you're talking about the legitimate swarm. Do I have my monster manual? Yes. I can't believe we're sitting here wasting time on the podcast looking this
So,
shit up.
when you cast a spell like Conjure Woodland Beings, as a spellcaster DM choose a creature that gets
Now here,
conjured.
here, here it is. Giant owl, large
Giant
beast.
owl.
Giant owl. It's a challenge rating of a quarter. It's +3 to hit. Deals 2d6 +1 slashing damage.
Okay, I mean that'd be fine.
Yep.
I just don't think that you could do a swarm
Swarm,
of
probably
ravens.
not. I don't
No.
have Swarm of Ravens here in front of me. I don't even know what book that's out of.
Probably the basic rules, knowing. Yeah, it's basic rules.
Well, okay. I see Swarm of Bats.
It
Okay, yeah,
yeah.
no, there. Okay, there it is. I would not allow that because
Yeah.
that's a swarm. That's not the same thing.
That's what you said. It does 2d6. You didn't say 2d6 plus one. So I was like, that's the only one that's just 2d6.
Oh, okay. That +1 threw you off.
Yeah, it did. We're talking facts and numbers. D&D has no place for changing
Yeah,
things up on the fly.
right. I mean, what do you do with your friends every weekend? We get together and we do fucking math.
We do math and we cry.
Yep. Ah, God, if you told me I would be doing math as a hobby when I was a teenager, I would have laughed in your face. And then I
It's
started
just
playing
simple
D&D.
arithmetic, man. It's not like it's calculus.
Well, third edition was calculus.
Well, third edition was hard, from what I've been told.
A lot
Oh,
of
by the way, I
lot of
was
numbers.
looking at the books I have. I actually have an original monster manual from
First
Advanced Dungeons and Dragons.
first edition.
Yeah,
Oh, that's cool.
I got another one too, but I can't see what the title is. But it wasn't like the Dungeon Master's Guide or anything.
Yeah, the only one I have, I own 2 copies of the Oriental Adventures for some reason from first edition.
Send me
I
the other one.
I might, but
I remember I found a bunch of second edition adventures and those books and a couple others. Just
yeah, this.
randomly at a flea market, and I bought them all for $20.
Oh
And
yeah,
then
I do that.
I went immediately to the gaming store and I was like, "Hey, what would you give me for all this stuff?" Like I said, two first edition books in there, a couple second edition books, and a bunch of second edition modules. And he was like, "I'll give you $20." I was like, "No, I'll just keep it then."
Yep.
And I looked it up how much that book is worth today. It's like $180
If it's in real good
Amazon.
condition, yeah, it would be.
Yeah.
If you look at some of the modules, the second edition modules, like I have a few of them just laying around that were in boxes for 20 years, but hell, they're worth 100 and some odd dollars. Some of them are.
Yeah, I'm really tempted since I have to travel back from New York. Maybe swing by the coast and see if I can hit up that game store that I got that from because they had like a huge counter of just old adventures that they were selling for like pennies. I never bought any. I should have.
I mean, if it's not too far out of the way, might be worth it.
Yeah, that's kind of where the point I want to be. I want to get so successful with Grumpy Dungeon Masters that I can start buying all the old books um, as a you know a collection to have them all.
I'm with you there. I started with the red box, and one of my goals at some point is to buy the entire the boxes. There were 5 of them. I don't remember all of them, but there were 5 different boxes from that set, and I want to get a copy of each of the original ones in good condition. But those things are, they're reasonably pricey.
I mean, that's how I started. Was the red box? Yeah, for
Was
fourth
it?
edition.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
there's
They did.
there's a red box for fourth edition.
Right. I think they did a. I know they did a reprint of Redbox Basic Dungeons and Dragons.
No,
I don't. I doubt that's the one you're talking about.
nope. The Stranger Things Dungeon and Dragon module was in a red box too.
It is. I was over at my friend's house running D&D the other day, and I saw a red box sitting there. I was like, "Oh shit, you have the red box edition!" And I picked it up, and it was Stranger Things, of which I knew he had a copy of it because I had played it with him before over there.
I've always wanted to play that one. I really want to. I really want to get my hands on the Diablo 2
Oh yeah,
uh,
yeah,
D&D game. Like I
yep.
think it was
It,
3.5.
it
That
was three.
was
Yeah, it was 3.5. I
yeah.
remember that one. I never got to
I
play it.
I need copies of that. I want to play that so bad. Like I want to stream that. Like that's like the next one that I want to get.
I
And
have
I
it.
haven't looked on Amazon to buy it yet, but
I actually have a book for 3.5 EverQuest.
oh really?
Hmm. Yeah, because that was back when I was playing EverQuest. So I was like, oh, well, fuck yeah, I'll buy that. And then I've never done anything with it. It's been sitting on my shelf for 20 years. As you do. You end up with a lot of crap over the years that you never actually use.
All I can find is the paperback books on Amazon.
Or the Diablo one.
Yeah, because they released or maybe that is the actual
Actually,
thing. That's
it's an interesting thought. What,
$500.
holy shit. Wow. What,
And
what,
the book is 55 dollars.
okay, wait, the book's $55, but what was 500?
The adventure.
Okay, yeah, they probably just didn't make a lot of them.
They did not.
I was going to ask, what media would you like to see done for D&D? Because we had Diablo, there was EverQuest, there's other ones that they've utilized. We got Magic recently.
Honestly, since Hasbro's involved, anything from Hasbro. I
Really?
know that. Well, yeah, because
That's
that's what would
easy. That
probably happen the most.
Yeah, we know that's the case. That's the most likely things to happen.
Um,
But if you had access to anything, we already know there's a Star Wars 5e out there, but there's
there
a
was
lot of things that I would love to see that aren't.
there was a rumor that they were going to bring Transformers in the Magic the Gathering, and there were rumors of a Transformers, I believe, 5e like cyberpunk setting. But that was like a year ago that I read something vaguely about that. I haven't seen anything else. I don't put no faith in that.
Well,
But
there already is a cyberpunk setting for 5e. That was
right, but this is a
Carbon
Transformers.
2177. Yeah, nothing
Yeah.
to do with Transformers though.
Um, GI Joe, I think would translate real well to a 5e book.
Yeah, that's
Um,
easy
it,
enough, I would think.
yeah, it's easy enough. Um, and
Masters
honestly,
Masters of the Universe, by God.
does Hasbro own that still?
I don't know if they do, but I'd still like to see it.
Hmm. And honestly, this is something that I would say that I'd want to see. If I was on the board of executives, I would be pushing for this. Um, My Little Pony fifth edition thing because
God.
tons of people would buy it that shouldn't buy it.
It's a money maker as much as I hate it.
Right.
There were even My
Yeah.
Little Pony magic cards for fuck's sakes.
And I know a lot of, you know, my wife has a friend whose daughter she wants to start playing D&D. When I did the D&D game at the local game store, there were a bunch of kids there. Half of them are female. So it's like, well, this would be a way to kind of hook that demographic as well too.
Yeah,
You
and
know,
I'm all for that.
you put out the GI Joe one and the My Little Pony one at the same time.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
I mean,
Um,
if it brings in new players, fucking do it. I'm all for it.
and that would be the ultimate reason why, because it should be easy enough for that.
Yeah,
I want to see a real good Fallout one. I have a Fallout 5e conversion that somebody did. I haven't honestly looked at it.
yeah.
I have it saved to my drive. It's on my list of things. So sometimes eventually a review. But I like Fallout a lot, and I would like to see that system. I think that system would work really well with 5e. However, you would need to change a lot of the skill systems just more in tone to match, you know,
Fallout. Yeah, because Fallout
Fallout.
had I liked Fallout's skill systems, the way it did them, and you would have to change sort of how D&D works. But honestly, I think just add more feats and add the way change sort of how you get them.
I was essentially you would just need to change all the main stats to be special, okay,
Yeah,
and then take the skills that you have and just change those to the Fallout, type of skills that they have. So, take out, add in barter and guns and stuff like that.
I,
And, just kind of work your way up there and then tie in some associated, skills with that to your attacking, like the misfire from the gunsmith that I, just saw.
yep.
That would work well, especially if you have a gun skill, you know, making guns, crafting guns, 'cause that's a big part of Fallout. So I think it would work real well, and you wouldn't need to change much from a combat perspective because most of the guns are already pretty well balanced when it comes to laser guns and machine guns and everything. So
Yeah.
you
I
wouldn't have to
really
go
do.
too far.
Yeah, I feel that Fallout would be an easy conversion to do if you were going to do something like that.
Yeah,
Probably easier than Star Wars was.
yeah.
Yeah, me personally, I would love to see Overwatch as D&D.
Um, that would probably work.
I
I
don't see
mean,
why it
it's
would. It's more of the setting. Yeah, the basics you just steal with the strength. Just do it like standard D&D. But I would like to actually have the setting fleshed out, and complete access to the world, because there's a lot of story back there, and most of it I don't know because I don't read the comics or really dive too deeply into it. But if I had a D&D book, yeah, with all of that in it, I would actually read through that.
yeah. So yeah, I mean that would work.
Uh,
I'd be very interested to know what lore they added because that would be the biggest drop for that would be all the lore.
yeah,
And I'm real interested in Chris Metzen's
yeah,
Ouroboros,
Ouroboros.
yeah, campaign setting. They raised over $1 million.
Yeah, I mean that's pretty good for a Kickstarter.
Yeah,
I will now. Any of our listeners, if you guys have a setting that you think would be awesome in D&D that doesn't already exist, let us know. There's a lot of them I'm sure we haven't even thought about.
yeah. There's a channel on our Discord too called Podcast Chat that you can just chat about the podcast.
Yeah, find out.
Yeah,
And yeah, if you give us good ideas, we'll talk about them. We're always looking for more topics. So if you have things you want to hear us chat about, and tell us that we're idiots and that we're wrong, or that we're amazing, please tell us we're amazing. Yeah, post them there.
yeah. Please tell us we're amazing. We need the reassurance.
We need the
Please.
ego. We need the ego boost right now. It's been
Yeah.
a long week. Been a long week. All right. I think that's it for me. You got
And for
anything else
you,
you want? Yeah, that's it for
you
me. You got anything else you want to talk about on this episode?
you haven't even done your like Jay teaches Chris a new spell session in like the past like four
I don't.
podcasts.
I don't have to. You taught me new stuff tonight about magic.
Ooh.
Like, yeah, you're like, I'm not gonna keep the simulacrum out of combat. I'm gonna take that motherfucker in there and let him do stuff. I'm gonna have him throw concentration spells for me. See, what you do is you have him just cast greater invisibility on you, and then he runs away and hides.
That works too.
That way you can have actual concentration spells, and you can adjust yourself with the flow of combat
And just
while
just
staying
sitting
completely
just sitting
invisible.
in the back room, just like as a fish, just like in a pool. Like I'm fine. The simulacrum's handling it. I don't care. I don't want to talk about this.
The best part, what you can do too, because it's impossible pretty much to tell the simulacrum from yourself. at a glance most of the time. So you just send the simulacrum in and you just hang out back. They'll never know the difference.
Just in the library talking.
Uh, until they ask for you to cast a higher level spell, they won't know it's not you.
I used up all my slots for today. I'm sorry.
Yep, I'm sorry, all out of spells. I've only got fourth
Ooh.
level, and I've only got fourth level and under.
Here's the fantasy role playing thing for 125. Ooh.
What is it?
The Diablo 2 role playing game.
Oh, okay. Well, hey, that sounds cheap. Might want to jump on that.
All right. Bye, everybody.
Bye, guys. Bye, Craig. Get
Yeah,
fucked,
bye,
Craig.
Craig.
Hey, guys. Thanks for listening to the podcast. Check us out on Facebook at
There's no at Facebook. It's just facebook.com/Grumpy Dungeon Masters.
and on Twitter
That'd be at Grumpy_DMs,
and on Instagram.
at Grumpy Dungeon Masters.
And also be sure to follow us on Twitch.
Twitch.tv/Grumpy Dungeon Masters, where we play Rime of the Frostmaiden every Saturday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Fuck yeah.